Dr. Ahab. Yeah. Thanks again, Dr. Ahmed Al Yusuf, for inviting me for this guest lecture. Salam alaikum, all the students, civil engineering students. We are going to discuss 50 minutes about why fluid mechanics is important for civil engineer. That is the main thing. But then why it is important for infrastructure development, especially coastal infrastructure development? Because Kuwait is a country where most of the infrastructures are concentrated near the coast and into the sea. So most of you, after graduation, when you contribute your knowledge for the development of the country, you will use the principles of fluid mechanics for optimum design of different infrastructures. So that is this is the thing. So the topic is the coastal space of Kuwait, basics, issues, and developments from fluid mechanics point of view. That is the topic. So in this lecture, at the end of this lecture, you will know in general what is the environment and activities in Arabian Gulf, some of the challenges by nature, some of the challenges by us, human being, and more specifically, we will learn about Kuwait marine environment. What is the plan of Kuwaiti government for development of infrastructure? So all these things we will touch upon with reference to fluid mechanics. I will keep telling you how you have to use the knowledge of fluid mechanics during the presentation. So that way, this is like an encouragement for you to put more effort to learn fluid mechanics, because it is one of the core subjects for infrastructure development. This is how the world looks like with the ocean floor. So we are here, Arabian Gulf, Kuwait is somewhere here. This is Arabian Sea, Arabian Gulf, and when the sea is dry, it looks like this. And Kuwait is here, you all know it, and then surrounded by so many other countries. And this side, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. The marine climate is similar for all the country like Kuwait. So that way, the engineering issues, engineering problems, and knowledge we need for developing the infrastructure is almost the same to all the countries. If you go to a country like, say, for example, India, southern coast of India, where the environment is slightly different with a lot of forest, a lot of rainfall, but then again surrounded by ocean. So we need a little bit more additional knowledge and information because of that climate. So here it is a very hot climate, very little rain, more seawater influence on our life. So the specific to the development of Kuwait, we need to learn knowledge with reference to the climate we sit here. During night time, if you fly over the Arabian Gulf in a satellite, you will see this picture like this. What it indicates, more light on the coastal area means most of us are living closer to the coast. So that way we take the water, we use the water of Arabian Gulf for all our life purpose, starting from navigation, shipping, desalination, power plant cooling. So for everything we use the seawater. And seawater is a fluid. And this fluid seawater is not stationary, it is moving. That is what fluid dynamics. And when it is moving, it do a lot of things. It has momentum. When it is acting on structures, it will impose forces. So we have to understand basics of fluid mechanics thoroughly if we wanted to develop our coastal infrastructure. Same view, but in the daytime, you can see the land surface is almost flat here, this side, and a lot of hills, ups and downs on the other side. Arabian Gulf is connected with the Arabian Sea here. Arabian Gulf, this is Kuwait, see Bahrain here, Qatar, UAE, Oman. Oman have some of the hills. And this is what the Arabian Gulf, the elevation, like land elevation, sea elevation, we call it as bathymetry. This is the fundamental information an engineer need to know. See, when you are trying to build an infrastructure on the land, you first need to know what is the elevation, how is the slope of that particular area, all these things you learn. Similarly, in the sea, we always love to know what is the elevation. So this is how it is. See, this is shallow water here. And when you go here inside, a little bit deeper. When you go inside here, a little bit deeper. Then this is the deepest, about 100 meters here. When you come out here, Gulf of Oman, here it is 1 kilometer, like 1 kilometer deep. Why I just wanted to tell in 1 minute a history of this region. What you see here, this is a sea level some 22,000 years back. Sea level was like this, and the sea level was rising from 120 meters below the present level. Sea level was rising, and then today we are here. This is today. So about 120 meter seawater was down some 20,000 years back. There is no water depth of 120 here. So that means 20,000 years back, there is no sea here. These are all land completely. Sea was only here. It was here. Okay, these are all completely land. Then slowly, as sea level rise, the seawater entered. Slowly, it filled this area. Then slowly, with increase in seawater, it filled this area. It expanded. Then today, we have sea level rise like this. Okay, that is the history of this particular region in the last 20,000 years. So now today, if you see from space, Arabian Gulf is full of water, and when you go from here, you dive inside, you deep, you reach 1 kilometer, 1.5 kilometers here deep. So this is how it is. So 8 to 9,000 years back, the whole Arabian Peninsula was like a green oasis, beautiful green country, complete, because 8 to 9,000 years back, the rivers were flowing, lot of rivers. This green, this color, blue color indicate rivers. Lot of rivers were flowing into the Arabian Gulf. At that time, it was like a freshwater lake. So rivers means you have to know the fluid mechanics. Now there is no river, but then what you have right now is some area they have groundwater resource, like in Kuwait, certain areas in north, also Saudi Arabia, certain areas they have groundwater. So fluid mechanics learning is required for groundwater technology. Those 8 to 9,000 years back, the history says Adam and Eve, they lived here. Adam, the first, our forefathers, they were living here during those days. So it was so beautiful a landscape here. So they were living at that time here. Nowadays, this is what the annual rainfall nowadays. This color indicates that something like 200 millimeter rainfall. This is something like 100 millimeter rainfall. So small a rainfall. So natural greenery has reduced significantly. So that is the reason people in good olden days, they might have lived all along here. So because of slow variation of the climate, dryness, people moved all the way from here to the coastal areas surrounding surrounding the Arabian Peninsula. Everybody moved to the coastal area because of lack of water for the life. This world, I'm trying to compare the world water with the Arabian Gulf water and Kuwait water. World itself have total ocean area 361 million square kilometer, whereas for Kuwait land area is about 7,600 kilometer land area, but we also own 7,000. Kuwait land area is 17,700 kilometer approximately. Sea area is 7,600 kilometer. This is a sea area owned by Kuwait. This is a sea area, Arabian Gulf Sea area. We see the water depth, the average water depth of world is 3.8 kilometer. Kuwait average depth is 15 meter only, very shallow. And you know the sea water, we own 115 cubic kilometer sea water we own. Compared to oil under the ground of the Kuwait land is almost like 1 by 12 times, 1 by 13 times of this. Around the Arabian Gulf, some of the facts related to fluid we have to see. Water is a fluid, oil is a fluid. So we have to learn fluid mechanics for the resource utilization, proper use of these resources. Annual rainfall is only 34 kilometer cube. Annual river discharge into the Gulf is only 37 kilometer cube from Iran and Iraq, whereas evaporation is more than 2 meters, okay, from the sea. So much of water is going evaporated from Arabian Gulf back to atmosphere, but what is falling inside is very, very small. So what is the difference? Balance is a 255 kilometer cube water balance. So this water is coming from the Arabian Sea. Okay, every year this much of water is freely coming from Arabian Sea. That is the water balance, hydraulic balance. A lot of sediments enter into the Gulf through river and through dust particles. A study indicates 3,365 kilometer cube of water come from Arabian Sea into the Gulf. 3,110 kilometer cube water goes out from Arabian Gulf to Arabian Sea. This is a study by a study. So the balance is the water evaporating. And water coming from Arabian Sea, it stays inside the Arabian Gulf for 3.5 years. That is called the residence time. All these things are fluid mechanics basically, because water is moving from Arabian Sea to Arabian Gulf. So they are all fundamental fluid mechanics. Arabian Gulf is a lifeline for everybody living in Arabian Gulf country, because a very busy shipping area is this. Among the shipping lane of the world, very big shipping lane. Thousands of ships comes to Arabian Gulf and goes back, exporting crude oil, gas to many countries. Within the Arabian Gulf, we have more than 1,000 offshore drilling platforms. They are all designed for the fluid-induced forces from the seawater. That is where fluid mechanics knowledge is required. Most of the country around Arabian Gulf, they spend billions of KD, Kuwaiti dinar or dollar every year to develop infrastructure in the coast. any infrastructure you develop in the coast, fluid is around, always, all around. So the fluid acting on the infrastructure, they will impose forces. If it is acting on the beach, it will erode the beach. If it is acting on offshore drilling platform, it will experience forces. So basic fluid mechanics is required to analyze all these structures. Arabian Gulf, if you see Arabian Gulf, there are a lot of major ports. All countries, they have ports like this. These are all the ports. And the port, again, it is a structure, civil engineering structure, surrounded by water. So where fluid dynamics principle you have to use to design the facility, port facility. And this is the picture showing offshore oil reserve. So if any country wanted to install their offshore platform, they have to design for appropriate wave and current wind forces on the structure. They are fluid mechanics. See, when fluid is moving on a structure, it will impose force, and we have to learn how to estimate the force or predict the force. That is where the principle of fluid mechanics applies. So this is a typical picture of the offshore oil drilling platform, and a typical platform looks like this. So maybe after your engineering degree, you may get employment in a good offshore drilling company like Shell, where you will be involved in designing of a different component of the structure. You will use the fluid mechanics principle. So that way, try to learn the principle as accurately as possible. Around Arabian Gulf, every country, they develop coastal infrastructure like this in Dubai, Pearl Island, like this islands, like island like world. It's like a palm tree like. And in Qatar, they are trying to develop a coastal infrastructure like Jewel. This is also like a jewel type, no? So people have different innovations, and everybody keep developing infrastructure in the coast. So to develop such infrastructure, a thorough knowledge of fluid mechanics is required. Because fluid is moving in, going out. When it is moving in and going out, it will circulate the water. Water quality will become better. And when the fluid is moving in, it may bring in sediments, and fluid acting here may erode the beach. So all these things are fluid mechanics. Even in Dubai, in Kuwait, we developed Sabah Al Ahmad Sea City dredging inside the desert area. In the south, in Quran, you have this project. So this project have 200 kilometers of artificial coast developed by these developers. Even here, we have to know fluid mechanics principle thoroughly, because water from the sea enter inside, and then it will come back. When tide is rising and falling, water will go in and come out. So because of that exchange of water, the water inside quality will become better. When water is going in, sometimes with the high velocity, it will take a lot of sediments inside, deposit inside. So we have to know how much sediment will deposit for erosion, annual maintenance erosion. So you learn all these things in fluid mechanics. So put the effort to learn fluid mechanics. There are a lot of natural challenges here we face. Dense population, I told you, population is increasing on the coast every year. Seawater temperature 10 to 36 degrees in a year, it varies. The temperature is one of the important engineering parameters for designing infrastructure. For example, air conditioning, you design the air conditioning system for temperature difference between inside the home, outside, up to 50 degrees outside, Inside the home, you need 23. So for this difference, you design how much cool air when air conditioning has to blow. So you have to design. That is all fluid mechanics principles there. Similarly, the water have high salt content. In open ocean, the salt content is only 30 ppt, but inside Arabian Gulf, in Kuwait and all, sometimes the salinity goes to 50 ppt. That means if somebody starts a salt industry in Kuwait, you can run it with very high profit because high density seawater, high temperature outside means you will produce salt, more amount of salt you will produce. So one can start good salt industry in Kuwait. But then you have to take water from the sea into a salt pan, has to flow, for all fluid mechanics. Natural oil seepage in some places in Kuwait, like some of the islands, Garu Island, you have natural oil seepage. When oil is seeping from the ground, how it is moving, how it is flowing, the principles of fluid mechanics is used there. So this is how it is in Kuwait also, dense population on the coast, and everybody uses the sea one way or other. So, Gulf country have some of the problem like earthquake. On the Iranian side, earthquake is possible. If earthquake happens, a tsunami will create, and it will have its own impact on coastal infrastructure in Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, everywhere. And we do not know for certain how much will be the sea level rise in future. People and the scientists, they predict 1 meter sea level rise by 2100. Sea level rise means water level is rising, the water will easily come inside the land. We have to understand all those things. And the sea water is some places it is very turbid, with a lot of silt and clay. So the fluid property change because of turbidity. Dust storm is one of the biggest problem in Gulf country. When dust is falling, dust moves with air. Again, it acts like a fluid only. Fluid is moving with the dust, and it falls into the sea. This is the order of a dust falling into the sea, quarter kilogram per square meter per year. So much of dust falls into the sea. Dust contains a lot of organic and inorganic material, toxins, nutrients. So it has some benefit and some demerit. And in Gulf country, we all consume a lot of water. Per capita, we consume sometimes 400 liters per day per capita, compared to 150 liters per day in India. So because of high water consumption, we take a lot of water, seawater, for desalination and cooling. So all these system engineer like you need to design. So because we take a lot of water, use it for cooling, the water goes back to the sea with the heat, thermal pollution. And we desalinate, the water goes back to the sea with high salinity. So saline pollution, heat pollution, all these things because of the basic requirement. Arabian Gulf water quality is deteriorating because of more utilization and dumping of untreated sewage. Sewage itself is a fluid with a lot of particles, and it is flowing into the Arabian Gulf. Apart from that, a lot of solid waste also we dump. Oil pollution is another important thing. That is also a fluid oil pollution. Finally, we also face a fish kill and reptile phenomena. Overfishing is another issue. Large number of dredging activity happens in the Gulf. Dredging means the removal of sediments in one place and dumping in another place. So this is the dredging activity also is happening in fluid. So we have to learn fluid mechanics to understand dredging and disposal. I prepared this lecture to tell you about all these points to motivate you to learn fluid mechanics better. That is what one of my main aim. Because people should know in general what is happening around us. In Kuwait, what is happening, in Arabian Gulf, what is happening, how it will affect our life in future. So if we know all these things, then we will automatically learn the subject in a better way, more concentration, more truth we learn in the time available. The Arabian Gulf countries, some of the countries, they are also planning for nuclear power plant. And how it is a problem? Nuclear power plant means you have to build on the coast because you use a lot of water, sea water for cooling. In case of any damage of the nuclear power plant, the radioactive material, they will enter into the sea and it will circulate. It may come to Kuwait. So we need to learn about that. And when we build a coastal and marine infrastructure, a lot of physical changes happen on the coast. This is called the coastal morphological change. So who is causing this change? The fluid. Mechanics of the fluid is causing this change. So we have to learn. Anyway, so now I like to tell you some more facts. Which is the Arabian Gulf, the fluid seawater is moving here in the anti-clockwise direction, here also in the anti-clockwise direction. So that means if there is any wastage dumped here, the wastage will travel all the way here and come to Kuwait and this country, and then again goes back. So that is the mechanics of the fluid. And almost all the country, as I was telling you, they take seawater for power plant, desalination plant, for industry, and the sewage. Finally, the pollutant in fluid form, they go inside the Arabian Gulf. So we need to understand the fluid going inside, how it is dispersing, what is its effect. They all need thorough understanding of fluid mechanics. Then in future, by 2100, the sea level may rise by 1 meter. So 1 meter sea level rise means Kuwait, we have done a project on effect of sea level rise on Kuwaiti coastal infrastructure. We worked out a value of loss. When sea level is rising, it will submerge the land, coastal land. From our project, 4 years of our income, oil income, is the loss. That much will be the loss if 1 meter sea level rise happens. Then we also need to think about any marine space development, like Bubian development, Failaka development, any development we do, there are a lot of new developments planned by government. Any development we do, we have its impact. We have to understand its impact. Particularly, any development involves a dredging, removal of material, the fluid flowing in and out will have its impact. And as a human being, we should do all the infrastructure development in a sustainable manner. Okay, this is most important. And we also need to do everything with minimum cost spent on the project. It is required. So all these things we have to do in an uncertain knowledge, because many, even today, there are many knowledge not available in many engineering disciplines. Even in coastal civil engineering, many knowledges still we don't have. In the Arabian Gulf or in Kuwait, if somebody wanted to build infrastructure, for example, if somebody wanted to build an offshore platform here, offshore drilling platform in Kuwait, the water, they should design for a wave height of 4 to 5 meters. So such wave, when it is acting on the offshore platform, what is the force? Moment, bending moment, strength of material point of view. We have to learn all these things. So that way fluid mechanics is important. Then there are a lot of new things we should do in future in the infrastructure, coastal infrastructure, like this, what I am showing it here. It is a civil engineering infrastructure for a marina. You all know Kuwait have many different marina, and still we need more marina in Kuwait. So when that is the case, we have to know how to go for innovative marina like this, what we have. This marina, it is an innovation from Kaiser project. Instead of using stones, we used some porous plates like this. Very cost competitive. We can save 50% of the cost. Also elegant, easy to build and erect. This is what a civil engineer has to think. Okay, every civil engineer should think how to develop infrastructure in a cost competitive manner, environment friendly, appearance should be beautiful, easy to install, and take care of the fluid interaction issues. Fluid, when it is interacting with the structures, take care of the issues. With reference to this, first of all, good knowledge, learning is important. That is the most important thing. Individually, everybody should learn the knowledge carefully. Then cooperation is important, not only within Kuwait, but also with other countries in the Gulf. As an engineer in future, when you try to develop coastal infrastructure, we need to interact with the neighboring countries. Water quality is one of the important issue. Water quality, main input is fluid motion. So fluid mechanics is the main input to understand water quality. And inside the sea, the toxins, they move from one place to another place. The toxins are from discharge, wastewater discharge, industry discharge. Also, when dust falls, they all carry toxins. So they move from one place to another place. Sometimes fish eat those toxins and it's stored in their flesh. And finally, it comes to our plate. So we have to learn, we have to know all those things. When earthquake or tsunami happens, what is the impact or damage it creates on the coastal area? We need to learn. So this is what I was telling you a few minutes back. 1 meter sea level rise, if it happens, for a year of oil export earning, that much is a loss due to loss of land alone. Only land loss, immersion loss. As an engineer, these are all in future you will do. You have to collect data, ocean data, coastal data, land data, wind speed, its direction, solar radiation, all those things, data collection, you will be involved. Networking and knowledge exchange is important. And these are all things I wanted to just share from my experience, because at this stage, when you are a student, you try to learn, but later on, when you go to work, these are all most important things. So as an engineer, you try to also develop some innovations for the country, like the floating breakwater. There are a lot of innovation possible. You can do it. Now I will try to tell you something about more focus on Kuwait's marine environment. The Kuwait, we are on the northwestern part of Arabian Gulf. This is Arabian Gulf. We are here. The total coastal length of Kuwait, total length including all island, is about 500 kilometers. The major island in Kuwait is Bubiyan. This is the one, Bubiyan. And second major is Failaka. And you have many small islands in Kuwait. Kuwait, these areas, they are biologically very, very productive, this area. You know, the fish, prawn, crab, a lot of them, they develop here because the fresh water coming from Shetland Arab, the water discharging area, that is a basic area. Then the water, fresh water, moves around. So a lot of commercially important fish and benthic life we develop in Kuwait. Failaka, government of Kuwait is planning to make it as a big tourism hub. Okay, right now, not many people in Failaka, but the government have a big plan to develop the island. So when it is developing, all of you as an engineer, you will work for the development. And you know, in Sabia is, this is here it is Bubiyan mainland. This is a Sabia power plant. If you see, this is a seawater intake structure in Sabia. All around the structure, if you go there, you will see sediments. Lot of sediments deposited around here, and fluid is moving. So when sediments enter, it will fill this area. You have to dredge as an engineer. You have to coordinate the dredging, and you have to take only the fresh water for the power plant cooling. And after using the water, you have to send it out. So this is the outlet. The water will flow and then it will go back. As an engineer, this is the fluid movement of the fluid. So you have to learn fluid mechanics to take the water, to push it out. And Kuwait have many other small islands like this here. Okay, also Al-Quran project. As I told you, Al-Quran project, there are 5 phases. I think now they are in the last phase. This is the last phase. So when everything is done, you have 200-kilometer coastline. You can go and buy one land here. You can buy land of something like, say, for example, 50 square meter, 50 square meter or 100 square meter you can buy. You can build your home here in front of the sea, waterfront. But as an investor, you like to have a good quality water. Good quality water. So you have to make sure the fluids are flowing in a way water quality is maintained. So a closer view of this particular project is like this. See the water here. So these are all the infrastructure. The completely this area, they developed this area. They are selling it. So people have money, you can go and buy a land here. But then the fluid mechanics is the basics of all the development. What will happen when fluid is moving? Sometimes this will erode. So you have to make sure it is not eroding. And any wastewater, through this, some wastewater flow into the sea. So you should not spoil the water quality. Okay, some of the important facts of the Gulf. You see here, this is called bathymetry, like land elevation. This is called bathymetry. See, this white line here indicates 0 to 5 meter depth, whereas this color indicates 500 to 1,700 meter depth. Okay, so it varies from 0 to 5 to almost more than 1,000 meter. This color indicates 30 to 100 meter. So if you see Kuwait, most of the Kuwaiti water is here 0 to 5 meter. If you come down here, 5 to 15 meter. Maximum 30 meter within Kuwait. That's all the water depth. And as I was telling you in one of the slide, inside the Gulf, the water, you have tide and Coriolis force induced water circulation anti-clockwise. Shuttle Arab in good olden days, they were discharging fresh water. When fresh water comes, it moves on the surface like this. But nowadays there is no fresh water coming. Very rarely you get fresh water. When you come to south, this is the way the water moves. So these are all the dynamics of fluid here. And the Shuttle Arab is one river and the other 3 rivers in Iran. When it rains heavily there, you may get some water. If you talk about Shuttle Arab alone, Shuttle Arab, Tigris and Euphrates River, they discharge water in the marsh. This is called the Mesopotamian marshland. Mesopotamian marshland. It's a marsh area where a lot of Arabs, more than half a million Arabs, they live here in the marsh area. And if marsh is filled with water, then you get water here. Water comes, fresh water. So fresh water is discharging. That is the reason marine biodiversity is very rich here.
Dr. Nalimani, 5 minutes left.
Yeah, super. Thank you very much. So I will just finish in 3-4 minutes. Kuwaiti territorial water, some of the important thing as an engineer, we need to know this, because when you are planning to do any infrastructure development in future, it is necessary to know what is available in the coastal territory of Kuwait. For example, this is the bathymetry of Kuwait, meaning if you walk inside the bay, Kuwait Bay, this is 2 meter water depth, 2 meter. And this is 5 meter, 10 meter, this is the water depth inside Kuwait Bay. They are all very shallow compared to open ocean. See, we are living in a country with a ocean front, very shallow ocean front. Okay, so if you go to the sea area of Kuwait, you will see this area, mainly it is mud. If you go down here, mud, you will see mud. Whereas from Salmiya to some 30 kilometers, you will see here steep slope, and some areas are rocky, some areas are sandy, like that, beaches. For example, yeah, you see here, see, this means, this color means a sandy coast, all the way from Al Quran. If you walk on the beach, Al Quran, Julayya, all the way here it is all mostly sandy beach. And here it is a little bit rocky here. Whereas you go into the water, deeper water here, they are all mud here, mud. And if you go to Bubiyan, around Bubiyan, everywhere you see mud. And here, northern part of Kuwait Bay, if you walk here, it is silt and mud fully in the northern part of hemisphere, coastal sphere. Okay, this is another closer view from Al-Yamani's book. So this red color indicates mud. Sometimes if you walk here, you have to be very careful, otherwise you will sink because of very low bearing capacity mud. Sand is good, it is a little bit strong, so no problem. Sand and rock is good. And this is what the islands, Kubar Island, you know, Kubar Island, Garu Island, Maradam Island, they are all strategically very important. Military is there. But then from fluid mechanics point of view, Garu Island, a lot of waves act and it is eroding. So you need to protect Garu Island by using environment-friendly wave barrier. So that is where the fluid mechanics interaction comes. This is how the island looks like, some of the islands. Okay, Garu is like this. So Maradam is like that. And this is what Kubar. Kubar is some green island with a lot of thousands of birds. You see sometimes. So thank you very much for attending the first session. We will continue with the second session on Sunday.